Okay, so how do we look after a goldfish tank? First thing we want to do is be aware of the light. In this case, we don't have a light, so therefore algae will be fairly minimal, but you won't really get to enjoy the fish at night time. If you are going to put a light on, you really want the light on when you're likely to be watching the fish. You definitely want the light off when you're asleep, and preferably off when you're out. And you want to minimize your light, let's say 6 or 8 hours a day maximum, and put it on a timer if in doubt. Now the next thing you need to do is feed your fish. So you can go and feed your fish some absolute crap like this. Let's call this 2-minute noodles, and it's really best in the bin. Or you can feed yourself super high quality foods like this Danichi. So Danichi is super good quality. And fish keeping is 50% about the food you choose and 50% about the water quality. So feeding good food, I want to feed these fish about 5 times a week what they eat in 30 seconds, so there's not one speck left after 30 seconds. And then we do recommend getting a little Vegemite jar of water and bringing it down to the shop at least once a quarter. Just let us test on the water. Now, when we test the water, we're going to test the waste levels. It's ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. Ammonia and nitrite is going to tell you if your filters need cleaning. Now, when you do clean the filters, it's really important that the filters are cleaned in water from the fish tank, which has had water ager in it, so therefore no chlorine. So you pull the sponges out, you give them a clean in the water from the tank, and you make sure that the surface is well agitated when the filter runs to make sure there's oxygen in there for your fish. So when you bring the water in, we're also going to be testing your KH and GH. So when you do a top up, all you really need to do is add a bit of water ager to take chlorine out of the water for the top up. And then when you're doing a water change, you need to add a little bit of GH salt, which basically just helps the immune system of the fish. But if that level gets too high, we'll recommend you stop it temporarily. If the level gets too low, we'll recommend that you increase it. Same with your KH. We want to make sure that we're running a correct KH. So when you do a water change, there tends to be 3 things that I'll add. I might add a pinch of that one, teaspoon of that one, a little squirt of that one per bucket when I do a water change, and that works out pretty well right. But if you bring a sample of water in once a quarter, then we can just guide you on whether what you're doing is effective, and maybe you need to increase or decrease GH or KH. So they're 2 things that are going to improve the immune system of the fish. Making sure that water ager goes in the water every time that you add water to the tank. Making sure that there's always good surface agitation on the surface. And then make sure that you never want to change more than half the water. Maybe a third is more of a good idea. Then when you get the bucket of water to put the water back in again, make sure you treat the water with which of those supplements you need to add. A lot of people also use bio starters, which don't hurt here and there as well. And so other than that, you just get a sponge, wipe down the inside of the tank, and it's good to use a gravel cleaner when you actually clean the gravel, and that allows you to get all the crap out of the gravel while you're doing a water change. So that's about it. This tank here gets a little service about once a month. Only takes about 15 minutes. Give the tank a bit of a wipe on the inside, remove a third of the water using a gravel cleaner to pull all the crap out of the bottom. Clean the sponges from the filter in the water that I've removed. Then fill up the bucket again. Add a little bit of water ager, a little bit of KH, and a little bit of aquarium salt back into that water. Tip it back in, fill the tank back up again, and that's about it. It is that easy. If in doubt, bring a little sample of water to your tank from your tank and a little video of your tank running, and we can give you advice.
The diver.